Hello, everyone, both everyone in the call and everyone watching. This is quite awesome. We have like everyone here. We have BJ here. We have Greg Foss over here. We have David Foley. We have Larry Lepard, apparently, whose video is not here, but he's still here with us. Then we have Jeff of Mass Adoption, which is the main discussion of today, freedom, talking about how Bitcoin fits into that larger idea, and the Bitcoin Freedom Fest coming up here, well, now this month, right? So super excited to
June 24th.
Yeah, what are those dates? June 24th?
June 24th.
Yeah, June 24th. Yeah. So yeah, without a further ado, I'd love to hear who all is going to be there. What are you all talking about, and why do we care so much about freedom? So
Luke, I have a question.
sure, go for it.
So the reason you didn't mention me, is that because you had problems getting into the Toxic Happy Hour Pleb party? I heard you had trouble.
No, it has nothing to do with that. No.
Yeah, start with Anders. Anders is going to be the MC. So
Yeah.
Oh, really? You're
start
gonna
it
be
off.
MC?
Start
Great,
it.
yeah.
Start
Go
it
for
off,
it.
Anders.
Sure. Well, what's your question, Luke? Where should I start? I mean, I
Well,
can just start rolling.
Yeah, well, you're the MC, so tell us about the event and what should people expect if they're in the air. Well, I mean, first, for those that don't know, tell us where it is, and then, like we said, June 24th, and then tell us what all you're going to be MCing for us.
Right.
Look,
So,
not to interrupt, but those type of topics, I might be able to answer a little bit better than Anders. But Anders, go for it, and whatever you need help, I'll try.
right. So this is the first of many freedom festivals around the country, starting in Boston, Massachusetts, historic. And I think it's great what founders here are doing with talking about freedom and the founding principles of this once great nation. And I think a lot more people are open and supportive of freedom in the United States and want to come and talk about that and learn about that. And it's a great way of Trojan horsing in Bitcoin, where we must admit that there's a lot of negative propaganda against Bitcoin from the people that own the media narrative, that own the money printer. So I think it's a really great angle here that you guys are taking, Jeff, and I'm very excited to be part of it. Very excited, also to be hanging out with David and Greg and Larry Lepard and BJ. So super psyched for 23rd is a party in the evening, and 24th is the conference itself, and I'm excited, really excited to be part of this. Thank you very much for having me, guys.
Well,
Awesome.
we feel very lucky to have you involved. So thank you.
Absolutely.
So can I'll jump in, fellas. This will be my third trip to Boston to participate in the BTC mass adoption meetups. And I'll just tell you that it's just such a great group of people. Very aligned with the concept of, things like the Boston Tea Party. And I've said stuff in previous meetups. I said, New York City is fiat, okay? And Boston is Bitcoin. And the beautiful thing is, things like the Freedom Trail, the reality of the Freedom Trail in Boston, the history of Boston. There's been some amazing meetups there, but just, Greg Hoffmeister, who is can't be with us. He's putting his heart and soul into this. Jeff, I've met your kids, your families, and I see a group of people that truly care. And I can't be more proud to be associated. I'm a Canadian. I used to be closer. I grew up in Montreal, which was only 5 hours from Boston. Now I'm about 9 hours, 8.5 hours from Boston, but it's still near and dear to my heart. I've worked in Boston. I've played hockey in Boston. I've done all sorts of cool things in Boston. And I just feel that it's a perfect meeting ground and a point of focus for the message we're trying to get out to everybody. No political party, no race, no color, no creed that is avoided. This is about freedom of choice, about bringing the great nation of the USA back to the honesty of truth and math, which is Bitcoin. So I'll be there hanging out with David Foley and Larry
We're breaking
Lepard.
up here.
Anders, you're muted. But basically, look, I have been there a couple of times, and each time I come back more convinced that this is a group that is going to make some real waves within the union of the USA. So yeah, very, very much looking forward to it. And over to you guys.
Yeah, if I could jump off that too. I've only been out there once. I was out there to speak and hang out at the mass adoption. That was back a month or two.
You guys,
ago
I don't know
now.
if it is for everyone.
I just wanted to add to Greg's point that I've been very fortunate to meet so many of you guys and hang out with you guys. And like Greg said, with the other Greg Hoffmeister and Jeff, I got to spend a lot of time with them, both at the event and after the event, and BJ as well. And it was very impactful to me, the kinds of conversations we were having, not just about Bitcoin, but about freedom, about what Boston meant for the history of the country, and how the beautiful parallels between Bitcoin adoption happening there in New England and how we're basically repeating it now, except in the modern era, the digital era. So anyway, tell us.
I'm sorry, I'm in my car.
No problem. Can you tell us some of your thoughts about the time that you've been out there, and as well as what you're looking forward to about the Freedom Fest here?
Well, yeah, actually, let's hear from Jeff. I'd like to understand the logistics a little bit. Jeff, can you maybe tell us timing, venue, all that sort of stuff?
Sure.
It's not at the tip of my tongue.
Right. Thank you, Larry. It's going to be held at the Reggie Lewis Center in Boston on Tremont Street, which is part of Roxbury Community College. So it's very Boston focused with the skyline behind the venue. We're actually chose to do it outside. So we have a huge, probably 3 football field long parking lot that we are going to be filled with great speakers that are people that are on the screen. So great Bitcoiners. We have a 3v3 basketball tournament. We have BJ coming down from Canada with some of his trucker friends, and we're going to have a big truck display there. We have a vintage clothing shop. We have screen printing. We're sponsored by Foundation Devices. So Foundation will have some of their merchandise there on display. We're also partnered with Ibex Mercado, which I know Greg is part of. And they're coming in and they're going to be discussing merchant adoption and giving a seminar on this. And then one of the great things that we're doing that I'm not sure any other conference does, our ticket price is $60, but $10 of that you get back in Bitcoin as you enter the festival. So we're really, in essence, forcing people to use Bitcoin because all our vendors will be accepting Bitcoin. So we're giving people $10 on a wallet. They got to use it to pay for their stuff. Oh, and I forgot, we're also having Texas Slim come in and do a cattleman's feast. So it's just going to be a crazy event, and we hope this will go off without a hitch. And then we will, as Andrews had mentioned earlier, we will try to roll this out throughout the country. It's a festival, not a conference, which is a big difference in our eyes. And one more thing. Andrews alluded to it before about the Trojan horse. That's exactly right. We didn't want to focus on Bitcoin. We wanted to focus on freedom because we felt we would open up the doors to more people listening to our message. And then eventually we'll learn that the only way to freedom is through Bitcoin. But we wanted to gather non-coiners, shit-coiners, Bitcoiners, whatever coiners, just to come to the Freedom Festival and take it from there.
Great. I do think that's a good idea of appealing to freedom, because I think many people have trouble understanding how Bitcoin and freedom are related, and oftentimes they think that Bitcoin is just a piece of online magic internet money. And so I think that's really good to solidify it in people's minds. Even if they don't go away agreeing with that idea, they at least have the beginnings of that idea. They have the seed planted in their mind of the idea. So I think that was that's a brilliant move on your guys' behalf. So
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, I recall back in 2008, there was a tea party, and we had it down at Faneuil Hall and Constitution Hall with Ron Paul speaking, and same idea. It was a great event. Of course, the tea parties kind of got hijacked and taken away in a different direction, but I think freedom is the perfect message.
And David, why I know you're local, but by the way, I just wanted to say, Larry's and David's and everyone up there. I mean, Andrews has just kind of joined the team the past couple of months, but you other guys have been with mass adoption from the very start, where we had 8 people at a meetup and we had no idea what we were doing, and we were just doing it. And I remember distinctly having a conversation with Greg Foss, and he said, "We'll be there. I'll be there to support you. Just build it and do what you can do, and we'll always be there to support you." So I just want to thank you guys for being at the beginning.
So I have a question. Foss, is there any possibility that you can get Jason Lowry to attend this event?
You know, Jason's already been to the event, and I am in contact with him. I would say it's a low probability, but not zero. Jason is, you know, up to his eyeballs busy. So I'll do my best, Larry, but I would say this. If we're trying to invite everybody, and the focus is on, you know, inclusion, I agree with Jason Lowry's thesis, but he is a individual who brings out some of the concerns. And not that I wouldn't want Jason there, but I'm not sure that the venue would be perfect for him at the start of, you know, trying to, his thesis is so deep and so, you know, he could be the smartest guy I've ever met. And don't forget, I've met Michael Saylor as well. This is not a dig at Michael Saylor. This is just a compliment to how brilliant Jason Lowry is in my mind. And, you know, he is, you've met him, Larry. You know that he is honest. I believe honest, but everybody has their own opinion. So I'll do it, but I would probably advise that there's more quaint settings for him to come back to his Boston roots, because his thesis is absolutely next level, you know, second and third order derivatives of our message.
I agree. I'm not sure. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Larry.
I agree, but I think you should do it if possible. He doesn't even have to be a speaker. I don't know. He probably won't come, but I think he adds to the weight in the message. But go ahead.
Okay.
Greg, guys, what if instead of putting pressure on you, Greg, because he'll take your message more serious, why don't I just message him and invite him to the festival? And you know, and if he wants to
sure,
come,
make sure he knows it's going on, because I'll take this point to I'll take this opportunity to pitch his latest interview with Robert Breedlove. It's 2.5 hours of pure brilliance. That being said, that's my opinion. I don't need other people to agree with me or not. They're free to make their own mind up. And let's just say this. You need to be listening to information and research that is contrary to your own thesis. We don't want to live in an echo chamber of confirmation bias. We need to listen to people who have beliefs that are contrary to our own, why our own thesis might be wrong. So look, Larry, you and I know that Jason Lowry is a very big benefit to the Bitcoin community, whether you agree with him or not. And that's the message. So I think Jeff will reach out to him. combined, I do know that it's actually difficult for him to accept these speaker invitations now because he's getting so much traction within his department. So, you know, let's just say that he will be there in spirit. I'm almost 100% certain. Whereas if he's there in person, that'll be a game time decision.
Fair enough. I think it's worth a try. I mean, just because some people don't like him, screw that. I mean, the guy's a fucking genius, and he's on our side. And in terms of enhancing the experience for everybody, I think people would benefit from him being there if we can get him to come. He may not come.
Larry, 1,000%. When we had Jason speak at our meetup in January, we got the same pushback from some members and some of the Twitter folks saying, "How can you have him at your meetup?" You know, and Greg and I are like, you know, F you, we're having him at our meetup.
Yeah.
And it was the greatest, you know, not the greatest, because Luke also spoke and DJ spoke, but it was a tremendous meetup, and I'm so happy we had him. I got to meet him. It was special times, a special kid.
Yeah. I mean, fuck the haters. I mean, just fuck them, you know?
I'm with you.
Well,
You
yeah,
know, the other thing is,
with
guys, if you can hear me, sorry, I don't mean to interject.
DJ,
just
I
on
love
the
how you're
Lowry
in natural habitat.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's either
DJ,
race
is that
cars,
a-
motorcycles, or trucks.
Yeah,
What?
yeah.
Is that a fake screen, or you're really in a truck?
I mean, I don't want to show the back because it's a mess right now. But
All right.
yeah,
I think
it is.
the reason we can't see is because you got him bundled up in there in the back behind the curtain, don't you? That's why Larry don't have a camera.
There's a little Easter egg you'll see in Julian's video that's going to come out around the time of the Toronto conference, just before the mass adoption one. It's funny you mentioned that. I'll send it to you, Anders, and you'll understand what I'm getting at. Just a quick thing on the topic of Lowry. I really don't understand the pushback, but he doesn't speak to, in my opinion, he's speaking to government and the bureaucracy. That's where his message is. He deals with one of the biggest line items in government, which is energy. And for that reason, I think he's vitally important to the space, whether or not people understand it. But, you know, the mass adoption festival is just, I think maybe it's more broad. It's more about freedom. People want to celebrate music, celebrate the fact they're not wearing diapers on their faces anymore, or the other bullshit that was going on in Canada, which is why some of the truckers want to come down here. And, you know, it was interesting. The other day, I was in a Twitter space with Bitcoin Cowboy, who I met at a mass adoption event, who is a farmer from Montana, big Bitcoiner, a generational farmer. And he was telling me that, you know, like, we got to do something over there as well, because there's so many people in the trucking industry now, truckers, because they saw what happened to us in Canada, and they seem they're usually more independently minded thinkers, are coming on board with Bitcoin. So, Anders, to your point, I think this is going to be the first of many festivals. There's not many people I know who don't like celebrations, music, freedom, food, and $10 of Bitcoin to onboard people. I think this is an amazing idea, and it's an honor for me to be included and to participate, as it's been an honor to participate in your mass adoption events. And you guys, I got to hand it to you. Like, Foss is right. Of all the groups that I've seen, you guys seem to be the most strident in growing the awareness around Bitcoin. And because of that, I'm going to do whatever I can for you guys. One of the truckers that's coming down is Bridget, who started the convoy, her and 11 other truckers, and she's having specially made t-shirts that were the original t-shirts made for the convoy in Ottawa that we had been spreading around and sharing with everybody. And she's going to be, but she's new to Bitcoin. So I'm going to take her to a Twitter space this weekend. She has a wallet. She's still learning. And I told her at this event, you can only accept Bitcoin. And she said, absolutely. So you'll be able to buy those, people will be able to buy those original convoy shirts with Bitcoin, which I think for me is just poetic.
Awesome. While we're talking about big names, has somebody taken the time to reach out to RFK Jr.? I know it's a long shot, but why not try?
Larry, we've tried just from Twitter, you know, and I've tried to get a phone number, a contact number for like anyone in his campaign, and I can't find it. All he wants is money for donations. I can't find how to contact him.
Well, Booth knows how to contact him. I mean, it's worth making the invitation. The odds are low, I know, but it's worth making the invitation. I'm sure Booth would be willing to make the invitation. I mean,
I love the idea. I don't have direct line to Booth, so.
Hey guys,
Well-
let's hear from David Foley, and then I got to jump. I think Larry has to leave too, but I want to David's a very low key guy, but I just want to shout out my newfound friend in Boston. Mr. David Foley is the epitome of what Boston and Massachusetts stands for. We're similar age, we have a similar educational background, and we have a similar desire to leave the world a better place than when we arrived, okay? I say the same for Larry because a lot of you guys are young, okay? David, myself, and Larry, like we're in the third quartile of our existence here. And what I'm saying is we have to pass the torch admirably to the younger kids. So David, take it home for us. Why is Bitcoin and Boston, why do they belong together? And then I'll just say this. I am so proud to be part of North American adoption of Bitcoin. There is no border. We live rent-free in the attic of the United States. It's called Canada. I know most of you guys can't find it on a map, but I promise you we punch above our weight, right, BJ? And so we're gonna do whatever we can to make this a success. Coming down from Canada, Jeff Booth will be there in spirit as well. So go take us home, David, and look forward to seeing all you guys.
Well, thanks, Greg, and Luke, thanks for hosting me, and Jeff and Greg Hoffmeister. I'm honored to be a part of this. I guess I want to kind of leave about 5 quick bullet points. One, Jeff and Greg Hoffmeister have done an unbelievable job of building up the mass Bitcoin adoption group, and have brought in great speakers like Luke and BJ and Foss. You know, they're bringing in Anders now to MC this, you know, importantly, festival, as Jeff said. This is different than a conference for all of us who were, I think a second bullet point, all of us who were down in Miami. You know, it was a great conference, but this is different. This is a festival, as Jeff said. And to answer Greg Foss's point, look, Boston is, you know, freedom, right? Boston's where the beginnings of our country, and this country eventually will get back on track. Bitcoin is part of that solution in terms of being sound money and in being a secure, decentralized network that's going to allow for you know, the takedown eventually of all these, you know, bad bullshit institutions that have really mucked things up. And I think that the third bullet point I'd make is you can get cheap tickets to fly into Boston that time of year in late June 24th. It's a 6-hour festival on that Saturday. The Red Sox are in town right after that. If you've never been to Boston, there's the Freedom Trail to walk, to learn about the history of our country in person, to stay around till Tuesday when the Red Sox are back in town. And Jeff and Greg Hoffmeister are very successful businessmen with great vision as businessmen and entrepreneurs. They build this out, and Anders here as an MC. Talk to them about trying to make this a national freedom festival. So I'd say come here, visit Boston. It's a great time of year. There's so much to do. It's one of the best walking cities around. It's cheap tickets to fly in that time of year. It's cheap tickets for this festival compared to some of these other conferences out there. And come to join this. It's going to be a great event.
And it ain't at my house. I got a whole yard. I'm going to and offer to pay the plane tickets of Ulrich, who is a fabulous basketball player. You guys all know Ulrich. And also George Bodine, and offer to fly them in for this event because I just think it'd be great if they could show up.
Yeah, and Foss, I'm all kidding. You know that. You're more than welcome always here at my house. Larry and I live right near each other, so we're going to have a nice bed for you guys.
We got you covered.
Thank you so much, both of you. I mean, everyone here. But on the logistics real quick. So I might be coming from Europe, in which case I might want to come a few days before to get rid of the jet lag, because the first night is a party, right? But well, maybe we can split it up to like make less trouble for you guys.
And
But
Anders, my house is open to you as well. So they have
I'll
nice
get out.
so I'd stay there. But if you have to slum it, come over to my house.
Hey, Anders, tell me when your flight arrives. I'll pick you up. You're going to be treated like a king. Nothing
That sounds good. I'm for it. I'm all for it.
Nothing but ribeyes. Come in on Wednesday or Thursday, whenever you want.
Yeah.
I'll get you. Just tell me your
Awesome.
flight. Just tell me your flight. We got you covered.
Sure. So I'm going to Prague on Monday. I still don't have my flight out of Prague. Let alone any flights after that. But I'll let you know when I know. Thank you very much, Larry and David. Everyone here. Appreciate it. Looking forward.
What are the hours of the event, Jeff, on Saturday?
Yeah, thanks, Larry. They're 12 to 6. I mean, could go a little later depending on what's going on, but they're 12 to 6. And I forgot to mention, we have a live 5-piece band playing, and we're also, one of our partners is Nick Needs Creation, who does Bitcoin Beats on Twitter. So he's the one who mixes like the Sailor and the Breed Love with music together. And we have 3 live performers, rappers that are Bitcoin rappers. So 12 to 6 with live entertainment.
Hey, BJ, I want to make it clear the same offer stands for you and some of the truckers. I mean, between David and I, hopefully my wife will be down on the Cape, which is dangerous. That means I've got my house all to myself.
Party at Larry's house.
It's a 4-bedroom.
Incoming.
It's a 4-bedroom house. All I got to do is pay the maid to clean up afterwards.
All right, Anders, we're going to cause trouble. I'm actually going to talk to you, Jeff, later on about the night before. Can you give details about the party before? Because I got to arrange my dispatch around it.
So initially, it was just Jason Mayer, who I forgot to mention, who wrote The Progressive Case of Bitcoin, was going to be our speaker. It's our quarterly speaker series. But then we moved to the night before the festival and realized we're going to have everyone in town, everyone on this screen. And we're like, well, why don't we just kind of, up the ampage of it and make it like a party? So it's also at our partner, our thrift store partner, a 10,000 square foot store. We're throwing the meetup that night at the store. So that's what it is. We'll have pizza.
Okay. So I'm gonna try to get a dispatch so I'm there the night before so I can come to the party. And I think also suggest to anybody who's going to be flying in, come in a day before, join the party,
100%.
hang out.
If you go to BTC_Mass, that will have all the meetup information. If someone's trying to locate it, or you can just DM me on Twitter to find out information.
Jeff, where are you doing the meetup?
We're doing it on Moody Street in Waltham at a thrift store called Global Thrift.
Okay. Got it.
So it's right in Waltham. It's very local.
I'll be there.
Awesome. And by the way, we said the hour before the meetup starts, it will be and the owner is going to offer discounts. So bring a significant others, bring your boyfriend, your girlfriend.
I think Jeff cut out on my end, gentlemen. I got to jump here, but listen, rock and roll. Okay. Anders, so proud that you're going to be joining us in North America, or in Eastern North America, not the left coast. Okay. You're joining the right coast for once. Okay. So, I look forward to seeing you there, brother. Thanks,
Anders,
everybody.
have you been to Boston before? Is this your first time in this area?
And yeah, I'm super honored and humbled that you guys want to have me. I'm very excited. So thank you very much. But yeah, first time in Boston. And
thank you, Greg. Oh, he's gone. Well, thank you guys very much. It's it's so awesome that I get to talk to you guys and that you guys are putting this on. It was so much fun when I was there before, and I know that anyone that goes to this event is going to have an absolute blast, and that it's the first one. So that hopefully, as I was talking to Greg when I was out there, we were talking about how, what if in 5 or 10 years, this is like a really huge event where it's a major freedom festival that's Bitcoin themed and has Bitcoin as a major component of that, and how cool for people to be able to say that I was there at the first one. I was there, you know, when Dave Foley was there and BJ and Foss, and I was able to say that I was there for the first one before we got, before it became what it was in the future. So anyway, any last words from either you guys, Dave or Jeff, about the event or about why people should be super excited to go?
I think you touch on a good point, Luke. I mean, our vision, and now we're teaming with Anders, is to make this a national event. And, you know, Greg and I have a history of building companies. So we're just looking at this as another company we're building, and we can roll this out throughout the country. So it really, if you can't.
Sorry, guys.
What?
I'm loading up on coffee. Sorry.
That's funny. You must be a Dunkin' Donuts if you're in Boston, Larry. No, I'm joking. So this is an important first festival for people to be at. It's very cheap compared to the other conferences out there. It's not like center stage, left stage, right stage, this room. It's a festival, Cattleman's Feast, live music, balloons, basketball. So it's really, you know, we're looking forward to it. I'll just say that.
Real quick, we should do a repeat on this on Toxic Happy Hour on our spaces also, just to get the word out further. You know, we run every day 11 a.m. PST for two hours approximately. We should do that to get, you know, let more people know about it for sure.
Yeah.
Excellent.
There you go, bud. There you go,
good.
big truck.
Wow, there we go. It is real.
All right.
It isn't a screen.
It's real.
Yeah.
It's real. All right, guys.
Well, thank you guys very much. Appreciate it. Glad we can get the word out, and I hope that this encourages people to go and show up and be a part of mass adoption, be a part of the movement. So thank you guys.
Thanks, Luke.
Thanks, Luke. Thanks, everybody.
Looking forward to it. Thanks,
See you guys. Bye-bye.
See y'all. Bye-bye.